Silence. That's where it begins. Not in noise, not in movement, but in the quiet stillness where your mind finally meets itself. You've been running, chasing goals, chasing people, chasing meaning, yet the more you run, the farther peace drifts away. Gautam Buddha once said, "The trouble is, you think you have time, but time is not waiting. It's slipping, moment by moment, as you forget to pause. Because in that pause lies your transformation." Most people live like storms, reacting, struggling, defending. They never stop to witness the storm itself. They never see the illusions they're caught in, illusions of success, control, fear, and failure. They think awakening is somewhere in the future. But Buddha's wisdom whispers, it's right here, in this breath, in this moment. Pause and notice what's real. The mind says, I need more. But the soul asks, what if I already have everything I seek? When you witness yourself truly, without judgment, the lies begin to fall apart. You begin to see that the noise outside is only the echo of your own unrest. You realize the wars you fight, for power, for validation, for control, are all reflections of the one war within. Buddha didn't escape the world. He understood it. He sat beneath the Bodhi tree, not to gain something new, but to lose what wasn't real. And that's the hidden power of pausing. It's not weakness, it's mastery. Because only those who can stop can see, and only those who can see can change. We live in an age where distraction has become a religion. Notifications, opinions, desires, all pulling us outward, fragmenting our awareness. The modern mind has become a battlefield of constant craving. But Buddha's path teaches, the one who learns to witness rather than react becomes unbreakable. You want to transform your life? Don't add more. Subtract. Subtract the noise. Subtract the fear. Subtract the endless need to prove. Sit with what remains. That silence, that awareness is your real strength. Transformation doesn't roar, it whispers. It doesn't happen in a flash of enlightenment. It happens in the quiet decision to stop fighting what is. The illusion shatters the moment you realize you were never the storm. You were the sky all along. The Buddha's weapon was not the sword of ambition, but the mirror of awareness. When you hold that mirror up to your mind, you see every attachment, every delusion, every shadow you've been running from. And when you no longer run, you rise. You rise above anger, above fear, above desire, into the clarity that nothing external can shake. The world tells you to hustle harder. Buddha tells you to be still deeper. And between those two voices, your destiny is chosen. Because clarity is not found in chaos. It's born in stillness. And when your mind becomes still, reality bends toward you. Problems lose their weight. Desires lose their control. You no longer chase meaning, you create it with presence. So pause, witness, transform. Every breath you take is a doorway. Between illusion and truth, between noise and peace, between sleep and awakening. Step through, because the moment you stop trying to control life, life begins to unfold through you. And that is the freedom Buddha found. Not in temples, not in scriptures, but in silence. That silence is not empty, it's full of answers. And one day when you sit long enough to hear it, you'll understand. You were never lost, you were only distracted. The power was never outside you. It's always been here, waiting for you to pause, witness, and transform. Close your eyes for a moment. The world doesn't disappear when you do, but it changes shape. The noise fades. The pressure loosens its grip. The constant stream of what ifs and what's next begins to dissolve. What remains is you. You without the labels. You without the performance. You without the chase. That's where transformation begins. Not in becoming something new, but in remembering what you already are. This is the essence of Buddha's wisdom. Enlightenment is not about reaching the light, it's about realizing you were never the darkness. We've been taught that movement equals progress, that silence equals stagnation. But look at nature. The seed doesn't grow by rushing. The moon doesn't shine by noise. Every great creation is born from stillness, the kind that terrifies those who can't sit with themselves. The illusion of modern life is that fulfillment lives in motion. We scroll endlessly, consume endlessly, achieve endlessly. Yet we still feel incomplete. Because distraction feels like movement, but it's actually paralysis in disguise. You're running in circles inside a maze built by your own mind, chasing desires that multiply faster than you can fulfill them. Desire, Buddha taught, is not the enemy. Attachment is. When you desire without awareness, you become a slave to your wanting. When you desire with awareness, that same energy becomes creation. The difference? Witnessing. Imagine your mind as a lake. When disturbed, it reflects nothing clearly, only broken fragments of the world above it. But when it's still, the entire sky mirrors perfectly within it. Your mind is no different. When you learn to quiet it, the truth begins to reveal itself. Not from books, not from others, but from the infinite stillness within. You've heard the phrase, know thyself, but Buddha didn't stop at knowing. He saw himself fully. He saw the ego's tricks, the illusion of control, the endless craving for permanence in a world built on change. And that sight, that radical honesty, became liberation. Ask yourself, when was the last time you really saw your life without reacting to it, without judging yourself, without trying to fix, prove, or improve? That pause and that sacred witnessing is where the chains begin to break. We live in a time when burnout is worn as a badge of honor. We worship productivity but starve meaning. We are surrounded by comfort but suffocated by anxiety. Because comfort without consciousness is decay. The Buddha's path wasn't about escaping pain. It was about transforming it into wisdom. He didn't suppress desire. He transcended it by understanding its source. That's your task too, to see clearly what drives you, to stop running from discomfort and start learning from it. Every desire is a mirror. It reflects something you think is missing. But when you see that nothing is missing, desire becomes power instead of poison. This is the secret. Awareness turns fire into fuel, pain into wisdom, chaos into clarity. That's the alchemy of the awakened mind. You don't need a monastery to find peace. You need honesty. You need courage to face the noise within you, not to silence it, but to understand it. Because the moment you truly understand your suffering, it loses its control. Awareness dissolves illusion, and that's when you stop reacting and start creating. Not from fear, not from lack, but from stillness, the most powerful force in existence. When Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, he faced every demon of his mind: temptation, fear, doubt. But he didn't fight them. He watched them. He saw through them. And by seeing, he was freed. That's the battle you're meant to fight. Not against others, but against illusion. The illusion that you are your thoughts. The illusion that peace must be earned. The illusion that your worth depends on the world's approval. Once you break that illusion, you don't become indifferent. You become invincible. Because the one who no longer clings to outcomes can never be defeated. That's the weapon of the awakened. Calmness is not surrender. It's power mastered. Stillness is not emptiness. It's full awareness compressed into silence. The modern warrior doesn't swing sword. They command their own mind. They don't escape the noise, they outgrow it. And in that mastery, they find a freedom no chaos can steal. So today, stop. Just stop running for a moment. Feel the breath move through you. Witness the thoughts rise and fall. Don't chase them. Don't fight them. Just see. That's where clarity is born. That's where illusion ends. That's where transformation begins. You've spent your whole life trying to control the world. Now, learn to command yourself. Because once you master the mind, you master reality. And when you pause, not as an escape, but as awareness, you begin to see that the chaos you feared was never outside you. It was the untrained mind, rushing to fix what never needed fixing. You start witnessing the flicker of a thought, the surge of emotion, the endless voice narrating your life. And for the first time, you realize you are not the voice. You are the silence underneath it. The world begins to move slower. You see how everything is cause and effect, how every craving creates another chain, and every reaction feeds another storm. But in that stillness, you stand apart, watching it all like waves against a shore that no longer erodes. Transformation begins not when you add more, but when you subtract what's false. Every belief you thought was you, every story of failure, pride, or regret, they dissolve, leaving behind something ancient, something whole. That's stillness. It doesn't make you passive, it makes you powerful, because now your actions are no longer impulsive. They are deliberate, born of clarity. You begin to live from essence, not reaction, and that is the birth of true freedom. Buddha called it seeing things as they are. Modern minds call it awareness, but names don't matter. What matters is that moment when illusion cracks and truth walks in quietly. You no longer chase meaning, you become meaning itself. So pause, not to rest, but to awaken. Witness, not to judge, but to understand. Transform, not into something new, but into what you always were. The journey isn't out there, it's inward. And when you walk that path deeply enough, the noise fades, the self dissolves, and what remains is peace that cannot be shaken. Now breathe. Witness this moment, this breath, this stillness. Because in the pause, you meet the infinite.